He's a communication strategist and a regular feature on our packages on Trust TV. We also have Emmanuel Osemeka. He's also a public affairs commentator. Gentlemen, welcome to Independence Special, live from Trust TV.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Emmanuel.
It's my pleasure.
I don't want to start with Murthar. Maybe I should start with you.
Whenever I'm with Murthar, they always start with me. So I don't know.
I think it's the ice and fire thing.
Okay, now say happy independence to Nigerians. Just that and nothing more. Because
Happy
I will go with my
Independence or
question.
Happy New Month.
Okay.
Happy Independence, Nigerians, and 64 years of learning and failing forward.
Murthar?
Happy independence. And like you said, I think I'm going to quote him as well, 64 years of seeming unity and failing forward as well. Honestly.
Failing forward.
Failing forward.
We'll have room to dissect this. And of course, Emmanuel, what is your takeaway from the president's speech?
Should I?
What took your attention? Maybe a big surprise or a big disappointment?
Let me shock you.
Okay. Shock me, I'm Murthar.
I did not listen to the speech.
How do you mean?
I did not listen to the speech.
Why?
I was sleeping.
Is it that you gave up?
I can't give up on Nigeria, definitely, because I don't have any other country.
But I'm sure when you woke up, you must have had some sound bites. People making, some comments on one or two aspects of the...
Well, I learned about this, some snippets of the speech.
Yes.
From the two interviews I granted before coming to the studio.
Right.
I didn't want to listen to the speech.
So it was deliberate. It's not that you were tired or what?
Yes, it was deliberate, but I was also tired. I needed to sleep. The sleep was more important to me. Why? Because over the years, I'm 53 years. I'm 53 years. And as a 53 years young man, Nigeria has not given me anything. And I do not see Nigeria giving me anything before God calls me. From what I have read, this is the most uninspiring speech to be given by any president of Nigeria. This is the most difficult season in the life of Nigerians. Where do we start from, sir? Is it the untold economic hardship? Is it the bad policies? Is it the bad governance? Is it the luxurious lifestyle of our president? Our president behaves like a monarch, like a king. Is it the ostentatious lifestyle of the Senate president and the speaker? They ride in luxury vehicles while flood is ravaging 20 states of Nigeria.
But there is flood even in the U.S.
Yes, there's flood in the U.S., but the president of the U.S. is not living on ostentatious lifestyle.
Okay, then let's give Murthar. I can see Murthar looking at you with awe. Maybe you have contrary view from what he has started saying.
No, not at all. Actually, I agree with most of what he has actually said. Nigeria, this speech by the president, contrary to him, I actually watched the speech. Unfortunately so, I woke up early after my Fajr prayer this morning. I said, instead of going back to bed, let me wait and watch the president's speech. In fact, there was no lights. I had to turn on my laptop and go online to start watching the speech before the power came back on. The point I'm trying to make is this actually is, and I can confirm that having been someone who watched the speech, it is the most uninspiring speech that a president could ever give, especially in the current climes that we are in Nigeria currently. The speech started with a very, would I call it mundane? Or
the usual cliche.
A false sense of empathy.
Maybe I should read it. He said, fellow Nigerians, as I address you today, I'm deeply aware of the struggles many of you face these challenging times.
Being aware and doing something about your awareness are two different things. And more so, this is a line that the president has. It's the same way, at this point we can start using this as the same way we're using I assure you from Buhari's
I underline these three words. I assure you. I assure you that we are committed to finding sustainable solutions to alleviate the suffering. Is this not consoling?
No,
I assure you.
It isn't.
Emmanuel,
you can't keep giving such kind of false sense of empathy that you've been giving for God knows how many years now. and it has not translated to any meaningful impact to the lives of the ordinary Nigerians. And that's something that we need to change. So the president needs to actually look more inward. And then those around him who writes his speech needs to understand that there are times for every single thing. This was not the time to announce that you are giving Senate president.
So this is your takeaway.
This is not their time. And we don't need to spend money on another confab. The man said 30 days youth conference. What are we going to discuss in
you are a
youth conference?
I thought this will inspire you.
I don't think there's anything that we want to go and discuss in
Emmanuel may not be a youth at 54 or 53.
I am still in my youth. But even at that, there's nothing that we want to go discuss in a youth conference that the president or his cabinet members should not ordinarily be aware of. Currently, I buy power in my house. I spend an average of 100K every month just to buy power. Yes, because if I buy 50,000 naira power, I get 122 units. That lasts me just a little over 2 weeks. Because for some reason, the Ministry of Power found it fit to transfer me from band B to band A without my consent. To make it worse, my next door neighbor in the same compound is in band B, but my own meter is in band A. So it just tells you that there is a lot of problem in the country that transcends some of the mundane things that the president came to speak about today. And this is the life of average ordinary Nigerians across the country.
We are trying to lay a foundation. Of course, you're also not happy with the announcement of GCON, right, to the Senate President and
one of the things I had looked forward to that would have been some sort of, some may call it small screen, but would have been, a step in the right direction, would have been that if the president had come this morning to say, okay, that XYZ ministers have been relieved of their duties, and that he's appointed,
which was actually a high point of
which would have been
for Nigerians.
Exactly,
in the last couple of days.
That would have given some life to the first statement where he said, "I am aware of your suffering." If you are aware, it means that you've sat back to take a look at where you are coming from, or how far you've gone, or how far your administration has gone to help or to ameliorate or to improve the lives of the ordinary Nigerian. Sir, maybe Nigerians have forgotten. As of 2021, we have 133 million Nigerians who are multidimensionally poor. That number has not been improved upon. As we speak today, we'll probably have like 150 or more. That is our reality.
And when you say multidimensionally poor, it means in all facets.
In every facet.
They are deprived of education,
healthcare,
they can't access health, social services.
It's even made worse now. Today, our electoral processes is becoming worse on a daily basis. We thought when we, came up with, the electronic system or partial electronic system that was going to improve the electoral jurisprudence. Unfortunately, the 2023 general election proved us otherwise. And the subsequent off-cycle elections are becoming worse and worse and worse. That today, you ask the average Nigerian on the street, once there's an election, if they're going to vote, they will tell you my vote does not count. We worked so hard over the last 15 years to encourage Nigerians to vote. All of a sudden, Nigerians are no longer interested.
All right, we will now move to the topic of discussion.
Oh, sorry, before we move into that, I just want to add one more thing to this conversation.
Okay.
Before the October 1st speech, I remember when the heat of the price for Dangote refinery was coming up, one of the highlights of what we got from this presidency then was the president was going to address this in his October 1st speech. He was going to speak to how much petroleum was going to be. Yes, I remember that news headline. It came out and everybody said, okay, fine, let's be patient. In fact, even Dangote gave a press release and said, we should not follow what the NNPC was saying because the president has promised to address this in his October 1st speech. Even when I was watching this morning, that was one of the
you were eager to hear something else. Maybe they forgot. And I think the Naira crude, is it swap or whatever?
It's starting today.
And there was nothing.
There was nothing on it.
Okay, then who wrote the president's speech?
A very good question.
Emmanuel, you know who wrote it?
If you ask me,
now who I go ask? Let me complete it for you.
I'm not within the circle of the president.
Yeah,
whatever.
of course.
Yeah. However, we get our information, but sometimes we also try not to say something because we don't want to...
For national security.
Exactly.
Yes.
The reality, sir, is that many people had expectations. For me, I had expectations. In fact, I kept saying all the time that they should prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But each time, I find out that I'm right.
But as far as I'm concerned, I think they will prove all of us wrong. Because I believe in Nigeria.
It's 2 years now, sir.
And it's 64 years in Nigeria. Of course, what I wanted to say before we transition to the word patriotism and what it entails is growing up. Well, that on a day like this, you rarely hear of lamentation. I don't know, I'll be wrong.
True.
20 years ago, we were still young. I mean, we put, even students in the university, you see their mode of dressing, you know, they eat special food at the cafeteria. And then those in secondary and primary school, you go to stadium, the parade, green. On the streets, you all see that.
Correct.
Why are we lamenting on Independence Day this, past few years, instead of using the day to actually cheer one another to say, oh, look, we have our freedom and this is what we can showcase? Because in some countries, some of these things happen up till now.
You want to start with me? Okay, so great.
I can start with, so, anyone if you can.
So my take on this is that the reason why we moved from the celebratory mood that we used to have. I mean, I remember as a young schoolboy, we used to go to the stadium. In every state of the federation, you find schoolboys, they're so excited to go to and do that match pass.
Yes.
You know, the high point is always the eyes right.
Eyes right.
You know,
serious celebration at home. And
I'm telling you that when you're done, you know, either they give meat pie or they give you rice or whatever, you're so excited about it.
Yes.
We loved to be called Nigerians. We loved the green, white, green. We upheld it with pride.
Yes.
You know, our leaders gave us hope. Our leaders, even though they were not exceptional, but they gave us hope, even if on a day like this. Unfortunately, we've transitioned from those days. I mean, once upon a time in Nigeria, the public schools were the go-to schools. If somebody says, oh, he attends a private school, you're like, are you serious?
Exactly.
What does that mean? You know, because the best brains were employed in the public schools. The public school had the best results. The Nigerian schools were listed amongst the top 1,000 schools globally. But what has happened over time? What has happened is that our leaders had consistently, whether deliberately or out of ignorance or out of selfishness or for whatever it is, have eroded that sense of pride in our nationhood. On a daily basis, on a yearly basis, the policies that the leadership of Nigeria pushes out for the people, as it always turned around to punish, or let me change the word, appears to punish the citizens. My brother talked about how much he pays for electricity.
I was really shocked because that is almost.
I'm not shocked.
Is the minimum wage of
70,000. So imagine he's on the minimum wage, but he's not. He's not on minimum wage. So somebody might say, some people in government might say, oh, that he's one of the wealthy Nigerians. Yes, but that's not correct.
But
one of the reasons why I'm one of the proponents, one of the reasons why I looked forward to hearing the president, challenge me by removing first the Minister of Power. He's one of the worst ministers ever.
Allegedly, Emmanuel?
By performance, sir.
Okay.
I'm a Nigerian, sir. And I'm a stakeholder in the Nigerian project. I'm a citizen of Nigeria. I've lived all my life here. I don't have second citizenship anywhere. I only have the citizenship.
And you've never contemplated Japan?
I'm not interested in that. Now, as of today, we're here. I'm not interested in it. I'm still a Nigerian. But when you have a minister who is paid by my tax, I pay heavy tax, sir.
Yes.
On a monthly basis, the government takes over 250,000 from me as tax, personal tax, not corporate tax. So I don't want to talk about the corporate tax.
Yes.
So I am a stakeholder in the Nigerian project. So the Minister of Power is employed by my tax. And the man comes out to tell us that 40% of Nigerians are enjoying over 20 hours of electricity.
You
have doubt about that? I took you off step.
40% of what statistics? I think that would be the question.
Yeah.
When more than 60, when about 60% of Nigerians are not even connected to the national.
So why are we lamenting? I mean, is it that we lost something?
I think
because I am still worried that today, 64th anniversary, on the road, in restaurants, in wherever, at homes and all that, you don't even see children, showing that color.
I don't think Nigerians are no longer patriotic. We are extremely patriotic. You still see our patriotism in football. Watch the AFCON, watch when we qualify for the World Cup, see how we are banded together, how there is unity among all of us. But in issues of this type, talking about commemorating Democracy Day or Independence Anniversary, the politicization of that space has made it difficult. It has now created an otherization of realities where we now see it as we versus them, because that's how they see us. It is why the Senate President will say, if they are protesting outside, we will be inside eating. Because who is the they that will be protesting and who is the we that is inside eating? So you've created this dichotomy among who a Nigerian is and who a Nigerian is, so to speak, depending on where you put the stress. So because of that politics over the years, it has eroded the culture of patriotism in nationhood. Or let me not say nationhood, in governance systems in its entirety. We've lost our trust in our governance system. The polity is a mess. We have nothing to hold on to around the political structures and political systems. And the annoying part of it is that real meaningful change that affects lives are made from positions that have in them political processes. And because we don't trust the political processes again, and because these systems have eroded over the years, eroded public trust over the years, it becomes difficult for us to see ourselves. There's no way, I would never believe that the Senate President is empathizing toward me, because I don't think we are on the same reality. You are
on the same page,
yeah. We're not on the same realities. So he doesn't know how much is his light bill every month.
No.
I don't even think he knows the precise amount of his salary. I have an Excel sheet on my laptop that tells me how much I spend every month. Yes, an Excel design sheet.
So when you look at it,
on the top of it is how much is my average income every month after tax. 25% of my salary goes on tax. How much is my average income after tax? It's on top of there. Okay, I'm sending money here. I'm paying school fees here. I'm paying monthly this thing here.
What we call black tax, right?
Yeah.
Because you spend a lot on families, acquaintances.
By the time I'm done with that, yes. I sit down, I push the laptop back, and I look at it, and I wonder where all the money went. And I've not spent anything on my wants.
In terms of maybe buying toothpaste for yourself, apart from the basics.
Aside from the basics, I mean wants, not needs now at this point. After removing all the needs, food and everything that needs to be in the house, power, ensure that there's power supply and everything else, then I say, okay, now I want to buy clothes. I don't have money anymore for that. So
and you've been working for years.
Yeah.
So now, honestly, Murthar and Emmanuel, this word, patriotism, is actually a complex and multifaceted concept, and it can be boring.
True.
Especially during programs like this. So I don't know how we are going to break it so that Nigerians watching us will actually connect with our conversation. He has cited an example. He's a patriotic Nigerian because he believes in the country. Now, if I ask you to define patriotism, what will you say?
Patriotism, let me use myself to describe patriotism. Yes. As a Nigerian, what makes me a patriotic Nigerian is the fact that, one, I uphold the tenets of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
I respect the constituted authorities of the land, and I hold them accountable as well. I question, to the best of my knowledge and my ability, what I perceive to be the wrong leadership postures, the wrong governance direction. I question. That's the best I can do, because one, I'm not an elected person. I am not in the corridors of power where I can possibly make suggestions or directly ask the president question. We used to have media chats of the president,
yes,
where Nigerians will ask questions through the journalists.
Exactly.
So the journalists ask questions that the parliamentarians are not able to take care of. As a patriotic Nigerian, I see my neighbor who has a need that I believe I can solve. I solve it for my neighbor, because solving the problem of my neighbor also makes him a better Nigerian, because one part of his challenge has already been taken care of.
Yes.
Then he can begin to. As a patriotic Nigerian, I am not supposed to see someone destroying our road and I will keep quiet about it. As a patriotic Nigerian, my responsibility is to respect and honor the flag, the green, white, green. Honor our armed forces who are on a daily basis in the bushes, on the streets, the byways, under the sun, under the rain, in providing territorial security for over 200 million Nigerians. They stay awake so that you and I can sleep. As a patriotic Nigerian, though I am from the southeast,
yes,
it became a responsibility for me to move to the northeast, even into Sambisa, to help the smallest of the most vulnerable children and women. And I was there for 9 years. That's part of my own responsibility as a patriotic Nigerian. I galvanized support across length and breadth. I used my education, my intellect, and my support group to help pregnant women, young infant children, providing support for them and bringing them out of malnutrition. These are just a few that we can mention.
All right, Murthar, over to you.
I think patriotism for me will be defined along two lines according to our responsibilities and obligations in the Constitution, which are one, our fundamental obligations as citizens, which I think are two. One is to vote, right to vote, and be voted for. And two, for me, would be pay your taxes, ability to pay your taxes so that the government can keep functioning. And then there's the other part of it, which are the unsolicited obligations that you have as a citizen of Nigeria. And I think unsolicited obligations that we have as citizens are, number one, turn off a running tap when you see a tap running, pick up a stone from the road when you know that would actually harm a person or a car or something, help a child cross the road. And the irony of it, and the funny part of it is, for most parts, you see a lot of Nigerians carrying out the unsolicited obligations. You see a lot of Nigerians who help other Nigerians just for the sake of it. This my neighbor no get. We've seen it in crowdfunding when somebody comes out and cry out. Before you know, we've raised 2 billion naira for that person. You see it in how we pay for banditry ransom for citizens, which I don't think should even be a thing. And these are unsolicited obligations that Nigerians should not ordinarily do on their own. But on the side of our fundamental parts, I think and I believe that however bad things are, I don't think you should not vote. The power that those who rig elections have, it's in the belief that you have that your votes do not count. Because for me to rig an election, I need votes. For me to be able to rig it, either I need votes.
If the votes are not there completely, there's nothing to rig.
You can't rig an election. So I either need votes to come to me, or there should be apathy on my opponent's side. So that's how elections are rigged. So one thing I want to make Nigerians know, and we did a project like this last year prior to the elections, where we asked people in Lagos, and their vote does not count. We said, okay, fine. Now we brought random 100 people who do not know each other, who all said their vote does not count. And we told them that they don't know each other, yes? They said yes. You also believe that your vote does not count. This person believes that. Now this is 100 of you from the same locality who do not know each other.
But you arrive at...
Now I say, imagine...
They have a shared sentiment.
So when I say, imagine all of you agree that you want to vote for one person. That's 100 votes for somebody in the elections, whoever it is. But at the end of the day, multiply this 100 by 10 local governments in Lagos. Or I know Lagos has more than 10, but let's say multiply it by 10, you have 1 million people who think this way. 21 local government, that's about 2.1 million people who think this way. And that's just a sample size, not even the total population. So the point I'm trying to make here is, as a Nigerian, aside from your unsolicited obligation, which I think are at your discretion, I also think that it is very, very pertinent for us to uphold our fundamental responsibilities as well. Because it's politicians are like marketers.
Okay.
They only sell to us what we are willing to buy.
Emmanuel, you're smiling. Politicians are like marketers.
Yeah, they only sell to us what we are willing to buy.
Yes.
If we refuse to buy, keep buying, they will have to change the spots and change the tactics.
Yes.
So let's stop buying what they are selling right now. If we can stop buying what they are selling, I know it's going to be difficult. I don't think.
But we have to start somewhere.
But we have to start somewhere.
In the spirit of patriotism.
And it starts from an individual level, and that is where I think we all need to see that self-identity. That Nigeria is my own. And yes, so it is bad now. You don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. So yes, it is bad now, but I need to do my part. I need to keep doing. It makes you come off delusional. I agree, but it is the right thing to do. And I think most of us need to embody that.
All right. Emmanuel, now, on a scale maybe of 1 to 10, what I have here is that patriotism also encompasses love, loyalty, then devotion that someone has. You all mentioned this. It also involves pride and responsibility towards one country. At what point did we actually cut this bridge of sense of pride? Because if you take sample, as I said, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, quite a number, they will say they don't have that sense of pride about Nigeria, meaning that this patriotism is missing.
So one of the things that you will notice is that, so for someone like me,
yes,
I didn't go to any free school. Every school I went to was paid for.
You went to private school? You didn't go to public school?
I went to public school.
Okay.
But it was paid for.
Yes, okay.
I'm from the southeast.
Yes.
So we didn't have free schools. We had
Subsidized?
Not subsidized. What do you call it?
They are public schools.
Church schools. The church schools, the missionary schools.
Yeah.
So
I also attended St. Teresa's school.
Correct. So it's subsidized, but you paid for it.
Yes.
So, I lost my dad when I was, I think, two or thereabouts. So my mom took those responsibilities. And of course, by the time I was ending secondary school, I had to become a man by myself. So I had to pay myself through university and all that. So I cannot say today that I have really benefited from Nigeria. That might not be 100% correct. But within my understanding, the only thing I can say Nigeria has given me is the Nigerian passport.
All right.
The national ID card.
Which is actually a key element of patriotism, because I have some of them here: national identity, loyalty, pride, responsibility, devotion, and all.
The national identity I have is, in quotes, I'm a Nigerian. I don't have any ID beyond the driver's license, which I paid for 3 years ago.
What about NIN? You don't have
they've not issued the ID to me. I'm talking.
But beyond the first value of national identity, it also encompasses, this spirit of shared history, shared culture, and shared heritage.
Yes, we may have all of that, but the question is, as a Nigerian, the government has a responsibility to provide me basic things.
Yes.
Provide access, road access, provide water, provide security. All of these things, I provide them by myself. Or I provide
Meaning
them
something is missing.
Something is missing.
All right.
I mean, we can go on and on.
Yeah, and we're going to discuss them, of course, Murthar. But before I come to you, I think we will open the telephone line so that more Nigerians will participate in this very important conversation. What is patriotism? How can someone be patriotic? What are the elements of being a patriotic citizen? Nigerians, our telephone lines are now open. Pick any of the numbers displayed on your screen. Call, we will attend to you, and then let's have your own shared responsibility in this big project. You can also dissect the president's speech and then talk about where we are coming from, where we are now, and what we must do to assure our future. Yes. Oh, wow. We already have the first caller. Hello. Welcome to the program.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes. Afternoon. How are you? Tell us your name and, of course, your take on this very important concept of patriotism?
Okay, my name is Saliu Danjuma. I'm calling from Katsina.
Saliu Danjuma. Okay, from Katsina?
Yes, from
Okay,
Katsina.
you're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, actually, good afternoon to your guest.
All right, Murthar and Emmanuel, yes.
Yes, Mr. Murthar and Mr. Emmanuel. Actually, I was highly disappointed with the president's speech this morning. Although I didn't even bother watching the broadcast, because I thought as much that at the end of the day, what would be rolled out to the Nigerians will have no any impact. But just like Mr. Emmanuel said, what I was expecting at least was to say, okay, it's cabinet are being dissolved.
Okay.
And maybe some will just be retained, which are not more than able to, if I may mention that, which is even Minister of Interior and Minister of FCT, that is Wike. Those are the two ministers that I felt that Nigerians are really seeing their activities. But the remaining ones, if you will ask me now, names of the ministers, I don't even know them, because they are nowhere to be seen. They are just there. Nobody is even feeling their impact. Even the Minister of Works is just there making noise. It's just noise that he's making. As far as I'm concerned, it's just noise that he's making. He's not making it because the kind of effort is pouring on Calabar, Lagos issue road. It's even more than the other areas where attention is needed. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, and again, there is this issue that always bothers me, because as a Nigerians, there are a lot of things that the Nigerian government is really running away from. Which is because they are benefiting from it. For example, take this Pension Act of 18. A lot of funds are there where some few individuals are not benefiting from there. I think as at about 6 years ago, this senator from Sokoto, Wamako, made a bill in regards to that Pension Act, where currently, if you retire, you have a pension, and you cannot collect more than 25%, no matter the amount you hold, you have there. You cannot collect more than 25% of that fund. Where most Nigerians cannot even have access to this their money. They have families that are suffering. Families that are suffering, but they have funds, but they cannot even have access to it. Wamako made a bill. That bill escaped through the second reading, but unfortunately, the cabals killed that bill. So, in short, they got just help us in this country.
Okay, now, what do you think government should do to you to make you more patriotic?
A lot of things.
Okay, just list two so that we can give room to other callers to also contribute. Yes.
If I will have my way, it's for him to just disband the National Assembly first. Let him disband the National Assembly. Let us start afresh. Because the National Assembly is one of the problems Nigeria is facing in Nigeria today. And then the judiciary, they look into the judiciary.
They should disband the National Assembly. All right. Thank you, Saliu, for calling, and happy Independence Anniversary. Murthar,
no.
You had him, but of course, put it side by side. We have another caller. That was why we took time to because we know we have a lot of people who are glued to our TV. Okay, hello, welcome to the program.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Happy to have you. Happy Independence Anniversary.
Happy Independence, my brother.
Okay, your name and then your take.
Yes, Mr. Emmanuel and Murthar, right?
Yes, Emmanuel and Murthar in the studio, yes.
Yes, I'm Jibril Husseini, calling from Kefi, Nasarawa State.
Okay, Jibril, right?
Yep.
Jibril Husseini, welcome. Okay, let's have your take.
Yes, my take is concurring with Mr. Murthar.
Okay.
Because I also have that problem of updating.
Can you reduce the volume of your TV set? It is obstructing the conversation, yes.
Yes. I go with Murthar. I have a meter. They said there's an update. They updated it and they put me in band A, which I'm in band B. So the money that would take me for 2 weeks, 3 days, the money got finished. So it's a serious problem. I agree with that. The Minister of Power is seriously disappointed to we still of this country.
Has that reduced your patriotism in Nigeria?
No, I'm still a patriotic citizen. Yeah, I pray for Nigeria to make it real.
Okay.
One day.
All right.
Yes.
All right, Jibril.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, my take is yes, but if they will accept my opinion, the only problem we had, a very big problem, is having state governors. The governor, the titan of this country, all the wahala, all the trouble that we're having, I can see, like this president that is in now, he giving them a lot of money, You can see where I come from. He's the first person that even promised to pay minimum wage. Up till now, nobody is saying anything, and all of them are fooling the workers. It's a very bad one. We are highly disappointed in them. So let's have the former system. We have the president, the prime minister, and the local government chairman. That I think is going to be a better way to go about. Look at Britain, what's happening. Nobody, no.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jibril. Yes, Murthar, quickly before we get another caller.
I think it is very, very... well, first things first, I will disagree with the first speaker that we need to disband the National Assembly. I think we need to recognize that we are a constitutional democracy.
Well, maybe he wants maybe a unicameral, I don't know. Emmanuel? Yeah.
Well,
instead of the bicameral legislature to reduce cost. Maybe that is where he was headed to.
I would agree to a unicameral legislature than a bicameral legislature, because it just seems like a redundant enterprise. Let's call it that.
I'm sorry to use that word.
But coming back, I think one of the solutions that we need to first of all embody is, that thing is cause and effect of some things. Sometimes you want to deal with an issue, but you don't want to start from the effects first. You want to find the root cause. I think while we might not have political will to implement certain things, one of the first things we want to do is go back to the Constitution and change it. Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended by 1999, was clearly spells out the responsibilities of government to the citizens.
Yeah.
But it does not say what are the repercussions if government should fail on its responsibilities.
Yeah.
It just says these are the functions of government. But it does not say if government does not do this, this should happen.
So if I understand, you are saying patriotism is a two-way thing.
It's a two-way thing.
While, of course, being patriotic is narrowed to an individual, but for him to deliver his own mandate, he also deserves certain interventions from the government.
Like Nigeria has to do something for you to feel like I can do something back for Nigeria. We're all humans. For each and everything that we do, there needs to be the intent of why we do them needs to be interrogated, because our individual personalities, our individual goals and aspirations can only be met when you interrogate the selfish interest as to why I am.
All right. We have a caller.
Okay.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, let's know your name and where you're calling from, and your understanding of unity, patriotism, and even nationhood.
My name is Hassan Abubakar.
Okay, calling from
Borno State, the local government.
Okay, from Biu. Welcome, Hassan. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I want to talk on.
Okay, can you reduce the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you properly? Hassan? Hassan, are you with us? Okay, it's like we lost Hassan. Emmanuel, come in here. Of course, Murthar said it's two-way, but then I will take this call before I give you the floor.
Hello?
Yes, welcome to the program.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ebonyi State.
Okay, what is the name?
Aliocha Francis.
Francis, okay, welcome.
Aliocha Francis.
Aloysius, okay, Francis, okay, welcome.
Yeah, I think what the president is missing is this.
Can you reduce the volume of your TV set?
That is trying to let him remember that he's only the living that has a food shop.
Okay.
He's trying to build a food for Nigeria. His plans, his economic plans are good, but he's not taking into consistency that Nigerians must have to survive before they enjoy what is planning.
Okay.
Yeah. He's looking at the Nigeria with the global area. But he should also know that the Nigerians are suffering, and that's the only area that you people should advise him. Yeah, you should provide some support.
We are just like you, Aloysius. We are just like you. The way you are actually advising the president is the same way. I don't know whether you met the president one-on-one or you. Okay, go ahead, Aloysius.
I've never met him before.
You are making a valid point. Yes. Okay. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, that's all. I just have to tell you that what the president is doing, sometimes, if you look at it globally,
yes.
But now, the problem is that the masses are suffering.
The masses are suffering, yes.
It's only the living that we enjoy what is planning ahead.
Okay. My last question to you is, how patriotic are you in the Nigerian project?
Well, I did. Well, of course, I vote. I do whatever is necessary for Nigeria to go ahead.
Okay.
I have served Nigeria for 35 years. Yeah.
35 years.
I think I am patriotic enough.
Yeah, of course, anybody who served his country for 35 years are retired and still willing to speak out is really patriotic. Thank you for being a patriotic Nigerians, and happy independence anniversary once again. Emmanuel, over to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he said it's like the president is looking at the Nigerian project from a different prism. It's like he's talking about building maybe an idea called Nigeria, but his attention to Nigerians is really, really limited.
So, more or less saying that he's supposed to be a domestic president first before considering pushing projecting Nigeria to the world.
So he's asking him to also be patriotic indirectly.
Yeah. So I think the reality is that, I have a problem. Like I want to follow, pick up from where Murthar, talked about that there is a symbiotic relationship between the constitution asking the individual Nigerians to be patriotic, whereas the leadership at part time does not have sort of that responsibility because I think that's one of the reasons why the civil society and of course the organized private sector began to ask the candidates at the time in 2023 to, they call it what was that?
Commitment of sort?
The commitment cards.
Yes.
Because every time you hear candidates, they promise heaven and earth.
Yes.
And they promise you 1,000 things.
And they are not held to account.
At the end of the day, they forget what they've promised.
Honestly.
Just like for me personally, when people talk about renewed hope, I don't understand what renewed hope means. Because there has to be hope before you begin.
It's a strange concept.
I mean, if we wake up and see, okay, when I look at the renewed hope agenda, what I see is the 1993 Hope 93. That's what I see.
Yeah, and many analysts try to create a nexus between SDP's
Hope 93, yes, Hope
1993, and there are some who believe that
it was a lift.
Yeah, Tinubu's intent was to actually rejuvenate that idea of Abiola.
But if you want to carry out someone's idea, you must understand the idea and how to implement those ideas, for example. So I remember the other day, I think I was having a conversation with one of your colleagues here the other day, and I told him, I said, look, to the office of the president of Nigeria is the easiest job for me.
How do you mean? But we will take a call?
Yes.
And then you have to explain to Nigerians, because if you say it's the most easiest to manage.
It's the easiest job.
All right. Who is on the line? And welcome to the program. Can you get closer to the microphone of your phone, one, and then reduce the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you? Hello?
I'm Barnabas from Taraba State.
Okay, what is the name?
Barnabas.
Barnabas, okay, from Taraba. Welcome, Barnabas. Okay, go ahead. Hello? Oh, we lost his, I think he was trying to adjust the mic. Yes. You said...
the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the easiest job. Why do I say that?
Murthar, you agree?
Yes, I'm coming.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I mean.
All right.
What is the job of the Nigerian president? The president of Nigeria is the one who sits down. It's okay. I want to go from, say, Abuja to Lagos. That's the vision. How do I get to Lagos from Abuja? And what are the obstacles I'm going to meet on the way going to Lagos? Which route do I go through? Do I take off from here and go through Nasarawa, or do I take off from here and go through?
So you have all the options.
So you have as the president of Nigeria, once you identify that, then you find what tool do I use, or do I fly to Lagos? So you find the men and women who will help you get to Lagos. That's the job of the president. When you find the right men and women, as long as your eyes is set on going to Lagos from Abuja, you will not miss your
Then
way.
where is the missing link?
So the missing link is that either the person who sits as president part-time does not know where he or she is going, or knows where he or she is going, but does not know how to get there. Or the journey, he's lost on the way to the journey. Because for me, why I call it the easiest job is that the president really doesn't do much. You appoint people who take up responsibilities. If they don't carry out what you want, you sack them. You bring another person.
Because you have the power.
Yes, and it's not just the ministers I'm talking about. I'm talking about the service chiefs. I'm talking about the chief of police. I'm talking about the civil defense. I'm talking about the road safety. I'm talking about the MDAs. I'm talking about the department. I'm talking about the agricultural sector. For example, sir, every time we hear from the time of President Muhammadu Buhari, we hear the president is giving so much money to the state. That's a misnomer. We say we are running a federation. But in reality, that's not a federation.
All right, Emmanuel, let me crave your indulgence to receive another caller. Yes, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello, welcome.
Yes, sir. I'm Sunday. I'm calling from Gombe.
From Gombe. Okay, Northeast. Welcome, Sunday.
Yes. Yes, sir. First of all, I want to... Yeah. Hello?
Yes, we are with you. Go ahead.
I just want to say you people are doing good there.
Thank you.
To be candid, majority of us have lost hope. Just because of the kind of leaders we have. My brother there was saying something, and in fact, I agree with him. It's the easiest work to do. Even me, I can do that work. It's just for you to find right people that will help you to deliver. You alone cannot do, and you have the arsenals and whatever thing you needed for you to do the work. It's just because we have just been too selfish. Nepotism, and let me just tell you, nepotism is what is making us not getting things right in this country.
Okay.
Nepotism, sectionalism, religious sentiment, and other things. And the truth is that most at times it's just mouth that we are just using. Implementation, I overheard what the president said, that they are going to have a youth forum, they are going to spend 30 days. After all, we know the solution of this country. Must they go and spend 30 days there? We know the solution. We know what is right for us to do. They are just going there to spend a lot of money without you. 2014, I think during Goodluck Jonathan, we have a conference that held. I think all the solutions are there. It's just for you to bring them and then you implement. But to be candid, I'm telling you, I have lost hope.
Please, can you rekindle your hope? Because, millions of Nigerians are watching us.
Yes.
And the essence of the program is actually see how we can cheer each other.
Let me tell you, sir, I'm a commandant. I'm staying with commandants. If you see how people are suffering, I know you know what tapasa is. That is what people are struggling here to go and just look for tapasa to eat. Yeah. Why? What is
because
happening?
Of hunger.
We are not. Look, we are just a country that we are 64 now. But we cannot compare ourselves with people that have gone far. They are prepared and they have the knowledge of how. We cannot compare. Let's do it based on our strength and what our people know, what we are going to do for us to get things right.
All right.
You are giving governors a lot of money and the masses are suffering. So what's the essence of doing that? We have lost hope. We have voted for him, but I don't think we will still vote for him.
He should just get the right people. Activate your hope. Yeah, Sunday.
I cannot, sir. I think he has made us to look so.
There is hope in Nigeria, Sunday. Yes, thank you very much for your perspective on this conversation. Okay, Emmanuel,
let me land on this.
Okay.
Sunday, please don't lose hope.
Okay.
Please don't lose hope. Tomorrow is bigger. Tomorrow is going to be greater
and brighter.
It's going to be brighter. They say there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Somebody made a joke and said that we want to get to the end of the tunnel quickly. If we can't get it, let's break that tunnel
and
so that then the light come. So that's it on a lighter note. But the reality is that I share his sentiments. Nigerians are suffering. That's the reality. As a president, if I am the president, I wouldn't give this speech today.
At all?
This particular speech? No. Nothing here will be part of my speech to the nation. If you listen to General Abacha, yes, many people like to vilify him. For me, personally, Abacha was one of our shining lights. Yes, he had a dark side that was not good. But if you look around you in Nigeria, a lot of infrastructural development happened under Abacha. That if you take a look, Abacha was head of state for...
So you see him as a patriotic Nigerian?
Yes.
Okay.
He loved Nigeria.
I'm sure somebody will call out counter.
Yes, many people are going to counter. Yes, might be controversial, but let people forget the hatred. Let's look beyond the a narrative.
Are we actually looking at his personality?
Yeah.
Not the fact that he was the head of state, military head of state, because we actually cherish our democracy, right?
Yeah, so look at the Abuja Kano Road. Who did it?
It's Babangida, of course.
Who was it? Babangida?
It's Babangida, yeah. It's Babangida.
Not Abacha?
Murthar. It's Babangida, I remember, yes.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure. It was Babangida as well who also commissioned it,
Okay.
And when he went to commission it, he made some pronouncement that generated a lot of interest. I will not mention the pronouncement.
You're talking about the one lane, right?
No. He was a one lane road. Especially Kaduna, Kano. Or maybe you are making reference to Abuja, Kaduna?
Yes, I'm talking about Abuja, Kaduna, all the way. Then all the way to...
Well, from Kaduna to Kano, for certain, I know it was Babangida.
Now, who did Abuja to Lokoja? It's Abacha.
But it is still ongoing.
Yes, Abacha did. There was no road there at the time. It was
it was really narrow.
Don't forget, at the time we had that railway, that tiny railway that we had at that time. Yeah,
they call it Langa.
The point I'm trying to make is that Abacha had his issues, a lot of issues internationally. He was more of a domestic president, just like somebody was trying to say.
He
didn't go anywhere because he was held here in Nigeria. Nobody wanted to see him anywhere. He was only able to travel to Libya or a few other African countries. But beyond Abacha, Obasanjo came, did his bit, right? Yar'Adua came within the 2 years with his ill health. We saw a visionary leader.
So if I understand, before I cut you or allow you to continue, is that Tinubu hasn't learned any lesson of sort?
In my view.
Okay. Yes. Hello, welcome to the program. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we're with you. Let's have your name.
Thank you. My name is Abubakar. I'm calling you from Gwagwalada.
Okay, Abubakar, welcome.
Thank you. Happy new month.
Thank you.
I may say happy new independence anniversary for the Short of West.
64th anniversary.
Happy independence anniversary. I greet you, all you guys. We are watching you live and clear here in Gwagwalada. We are receiving your reception very clear.
Thank you.
May God continue to uplift your station. You people are doing a professional job.
Thank you.
Come to the issue of independent anniversary and what is someone's views about Mr. President's speech. Before today, yesterday, last night, I was downcast already because I watched a documentary by a television station who showed the documentary about the formative years and the current status of United Arab Emirates compared to Nigeria? Where are we? We are not even nation. We have not started. Our ruling class. Imagine today, your station show us a clip of independent anniversary parade just within the enclave of Aso Villa. Is that what's supposed to be? Independence anniversary parade just conducted for the true elite, the ruling class. So it's nothing to show about. And your station show us a clip of empty streets in Abuja, in Lagos, everywhere. People are confined indoors. Is it national independence anniversary? So tell me what is working in Nigeria. In all our national sectors, everything is comatose. Nigeria is declining. We are at diminishing return. Can you compare that? Even just this week, last week, a vice president was at United Nations repeating the non-rhetoric. How can you secure a permanency in United Committee of Nations when you cannot secure your people, you cannot feed them? That your country is being plagued by insecurity. There are a lot of negativity. So we are not anywhere. But it is not hopeless for Nigeria. Okay. The situation is not hopeless.
All right.
We have leaders who will come and change the situation. One day, Monkey will go march and will come back. That is my thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abubakar.
That's another one. I don't know what that means.
I think he ended the conversation, from his end on a lighter note.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, Nigeria would.
It is. They usually say this thing that we are too happy people, and that's why Nigeria is still one country.
Yes.
We are very, very happy people. And thanks to Abubakar, actually. I think we need to also take note of something. I've always said this every time I'm here. It is good politics and good policies that brings about good governance. If you talk to the people who worked under Obasanjo, they will tell you that Obasanjo told them that the reason why I have brought you on board is because this is what we are transitioning Nigeria from a military to a democracy, and we need Nigeria to grow fast. So I have brought you from different parts of the world to come and work for your country.
Irrespective of party lining, or religion,
so that we can move
ethnicity,
this country forward. If the reason I'm bringing you on is, I don't know how to do it.
Correct.
You know how to do it. If you talk to people who work with Obasanjo, Obasanjo will say, if you have problem with politics, if somebody is giving you a political problem, come and meet me.
Correct.
I will handle that person.
Thank you.
But you have the free will to walk the way the way we want things. It's why you see expertise. It's why you see in Abuja. It's why you saw El-Rufai had the kind of power he had to transform Abuja the way he did. It's why you saw the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala worked as effectively and as efficient as they should. It just goes. I say this to buttress the point that Mr. Emmanuel was making earlier.
Yes.
Around, if you know where you are going, your job is to get people that would go with you, and your ability to remove the political obstacles that they will face.
So you are validating what he said, that the easiest office in Nigeria.
It's your administrative skills we need,
okay,
nothing else.
We have a caller and we will talk more on that. Yes, welcome to the program.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon, you are welcome to Independence Special Package from Trust TV, live here in Abuja.
Yes. I am Mr. Idumufinin Joshua, calling from Ekole,
Ekiti State. Awesome. Okay, yeah. Welcome.
Yes, sir. I want to say happy Independence Day to every one of you there.
We appreciate you.
Independence Day to you too.
What I see here, about in 1997, Britain was looking up to Nigeria for assistance and support. But look at today, what really happened. There are two things I want to contribute. Our leaders lack patriotism. They don't patronize our country.
Okay.
The reason is simple. Take, for instance, at today now, let me give you an instance. Do you know that there's no transaction, bank transaction is going on in any part of Nigeria? and some people does not have even money at hand, do transaction, nothing is happening just because they don't have the feeling of the people. If you will ask them, they will tell you that it's because they don't want people to protest. Is it everybody that going for protest? There are people who are hungry. They cannot even buy food now. They have the money. So what is the patriotism? You see, I want you to also appeal to these our leaders. In the issue of security, take for instance,
serious responsibilities. Yeah, Joshua, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Take for instance, in the issue of security, look at what happened in Niger Delta. I am from Fakados, to be precise, though I work in Ekiti. There was an issue. The government had to engage the people there. And today we have a relative peace in the Niger Delta. In the same vein, I thought that is what they will do even in the north. So our leaders, they know what they are doing. If they don't want to sacrifice anything for the country, and they are asking us that, be a good follower, are they good leaders?
Good question.
People are suffering. Okay, the major problem we are facing now is because of fuel. If people will renovate government houses with billions of nairas, what does it take for them to reduce the fuel so that Nigerians are good people? They are pushing Nigerians. Most people don't depend on government. But yet, the government doesn't have a template for the people to run their business freely. What is our sin? What is our sin? Please tell them.
Okay.
Tell them.
All right,
Talk
Joshua.
to them.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Murthar, you are saying something, and Joshua is defining patriotism from another perspective. He said, for the citizens to be patriotic, the leaders must also be patriotic.
It is one thing when the president and his cabinet members, including the Senate president, is telling us that we should, there's going to be, things are going to get better, but we need to wait.
I assure you.
Yes, he's assuring us, he's assuring us, and in the words of Buhari. But still, I am seeing you living la vida loca, like you're living your best life. You're flying the best planes, you're driving in the best cars, and you're still telling me that I should adjust. In order for me to adjust, I need to see that you're also giving something, so that I can say, okay, we are all in this together. And because it is discomforting you, I am sure that you will find a way to ensure that it gets comfortable for all of us. I remember there's this joke we usually say whenever we're having a management meeting in the office, and there is a need to, because we're a big organization, so, and the finance team is coming in and telling us, this is where there's a tax problem, there's this, there's that needs to happen, and all of that. One of my colleagues will say, anyhow you want to do it, do it. I know that you will not shortchange yourself. For the singular reason that you will not shortchange yourself, I'm sure you will not shortchange me, because the same formula that you are using for yourself is what you will use for me.
You will not
so there's no problem.
Different
exactly. So the point I'm trying to make is, you don't see that template that cuts across from the ruling class to the common Nigerians. So
there is a disconnect.
There's a huge disconnect, because you see the fuel problem, but you don't hear anybody from the Senate saying, I could not fuel my car yesterday. Or I did not get fuel.
I'm going to use scarcity. 2 cars instead of 5.
Nobody is saying this hardship don't hit me, and we need to do something about it. And because they do not relate to that reality, that is why it is so difficult for them to understand when we are crying out. It is why the Senate president will say, while you are outside protesting, we'll be inside eating.
Okay, Emmanuel, minimum standards that Nigerians need, to be patriotic. Can you talk about maybe education, maybe inclusive governance and things like that, which most likely will now, cool the temper of aggrieved Nigerians?
Let me not go too far.
Okay.
In our current realities, we had issue of minimum wage.
Yeah.
Minimum wage elapsed 7 months ago. There was this hickey haka with the labor unions and the rest of them. Then 70,000 was foisted on the workers with a promise according to the labor leaders, from the president's mouth, that you want 250,000. I will give you 250,000, but I will increase the price of fuel. Or you take 70,000 and the price of fuel will not be increased. They accepted 70,000. What happened afterwards?
The price of petrol.
The price of petroleum increased.
Meaning that there's reneged in
tomorrow,
commitment.
Tomorrow, will the labor union believe the president?
Very unlikely. Sorry, Emmanuel, we have a caller, and maybe he will add volume to what you are saying. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon.
Afternoon, yes.
God bless you. You guys are doing a wonderful work.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Matthew. I'm
Matthew. From where?
From Nasarawa State.
Okay, welcome.
Please, are you hearing me clear?
Very well. Go ahead.
All right. I want to chip in a little advice concerning this nation.
Okay.
As a country, do you know why I don't want to say congratulations concerning the 64 years anniversary?
Tell us.
Because I'm not happy.
Okay.
As a human being. This country has failed. Yes, it has failed because even if one who is at age of 64, I believe that person will be a father. And that person must have laid a foundation for his family or her family. Now, Nigeria at 64 cannot boast of anything. What can we boast of? Look around. Common African countries around us are better than us. So the problem of this nation is just few things that I'm going to mention for you now. And
okay,
I want
quickly.
you to jot them down.
All right.
1, tribalism.
Okay.
2, religion sentiment. If we can bring this thing out and deal with them once and for all, I tell you, this country will move forward.
Okay.
Now, if I may ask you, is there any religion in this planet that supports evil? No. In Christianity, there is nowhere you see anywhere they say do bad or do this or do that. In Islam, the same thing. But today in Nigeria, people that call themselves both the Malamis and the pastors, putting hands together, doing things that are not right. And the reason why God has placed them in those positions is for them to talk to our leaders when they do something wrong. If any leader do something wrong, don't mind him, whether it's your tribe or your religion, tell him or her that you are wrong. And I tell you, this nation will move forward. But today we are not doing that.
Okay.
So I myself, personally, have lost hope in this country.
I think Mr. Emmanuel will tell you that you should have hope.
Anybody that tell you, see, let us tell ourselves the truth. There is nothing you can do to bring people's mind back in this nation. Why? Because people have lost hope.
Okay, Emmanuel is saying that is not true. Matthew, I think something, if we can do it, we can bring back the nation. Anyway, thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You are the one talking, right?
So,
okay.
Thank you, Matthew. But unfortunately, I mean, what you said last was not correct.
Okay.
We have bad leaders. We've had bad leadership. Somebody say, oh, Nigeria is cursed with bad leaders. I tend to believe that. Nigerians are good people. Nigerians are lovely people. You know, I try to create a trajectory for you from, you know, Abacha, Obasanjo, Yaradua, Jonathan, then Buhari came. When you take a look at the days of Obasanjo, we had 15% GDP growth in this country. We had, under Obasanjo, we had 2 years, 15% GDP growth before, you know, it dropped a bit. Then Yaradua came. Yaradua entered office during the meltdown, the economic meltdown, because of the savings of Obasanjo. We were able to navigate. And of course, unfortunately, we lost a fantastic president, Yaradua. Then Jonathan metamorphosed the 7-point agenda and called it transformation agenda because it was the same. And what made Jonathan's government seemingly progressive in nature was the fact that he had the best brain. I think he learned something from Obasanjo. He picked
those to work with.
Exactly. I'm doing this deliberately.
Okay.
So I've talked about...
And I hope no call will come in so that we allow you to land
because
safely.
When Murthar was talking about Obasanjo's government, Obasanjo understood the diversity, the diversity in Nigeria.
And he was able to leverage
He leveraged on the diversity of Nigeria. Yar'Adua understood diversity of Nigeria. He leveraged on it. Jonathan also understood the diversity of Nigeria.
Now who messed up?
I'm coming. That's why we're coming. So we will now, until we entered Buhari. Buhari showed us a different side that we never saw before.
What is that side?
He was nepotistic. Then
allegedly.
Not
Let me speak on his
allegedly.
behalf.
Not allegedly.
Okay.
He was extremely nepotistic. But Tinubu has taken it to a different level.
He has dwarfed Buhari?
Buhari is a good man when it comes to nepotism compared to Tinubu. Let me explain to you.
I know one of the people will call and give you
Let me
answer.
give you why I went on this route. There's this saying that there's strength in diversity.
There is strength
in diversity.
Yes.
Why do we have strength in diversity? Nigeria touts of 6 geopolitical zones.
Yes.
We are different people, but we have a common goal. We are one country. I love this country. I love Nigeria. Nigeria is my country, and I'm not going to change it tomorrow. Now, when you bring people from different parts of the country, you hear opinions, views, divergent from the perspective of where they're coming from, because we are different.
Right.
And you get solutions that are divergent.
Yeah.
But when you bring people from the same place, what you get is one-sided solution.
All right.
That's what happened to Buhari.
Emmanuel. All right.
Tinubu.
All right. We have a caller, and thank you for this point. Hello. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Kayode from Kwara State.
Kayode, welcome to the program.
Sir, this is independence we do in Nigeria now.
Okay.
We are not be happy because in the speech of our president this morning, the all Nigeria are not happy because we expect our president to reduce the price of the fuel.
Okay.
Because this thing is caused a lot of problem in Nigeria. We expect to open the borders, either the only rice that come to Nigeria. We are hungry. Honestly. See,
okay.
in the issue of the minimum wage, in this Kwara State, our government cannot not pay the minimum wage in Kwara State. Till now, we are collecting 30,000 minimum wage. We have a child in the school. When we go to the work, this Nigeria God.
Kayode, I can see you're actually emotional here. Okay? So you are advising for the advancement of Nigeria, the president should review some of his policies, right? All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Kayode. Murthar, let me come back to you. Expressions of patriotism, of course. We have things like maybe symbolic expressions, waving of the flags and all that. Civic engagement, that is voting, you spoke about it. Community service, that is charity, neighborhood initiative, and advocacy for national interests. Personal sacrifice, military service. These are very simple things on the face value, but it's like they are becoming so difficult for Nigerians to exhibit them. For instance, these personal sacrifices, it is mentioned as expression, but to even join the police or the military or even civil defense, now you have to buy your way.
Before I go into that, I think the conversation that Kayode just had with us made me a little bit sober.
Yes.
It's good to reflect sometimes. Sometimes it's important to always have, as bad as I would complain that things are, I'm often very grateful that at least I can afford some of the basic things that I need, and even go as far as helping others. I'm not married. I don't have children, but I have a lot of words.
We're advertising you now.
Well, I have a lot of words and people that I train. Quite recently, one of them came to resume school, Federal Government College in Kwali, and I took him to school. Before he went to school, before he resumed fully, I had spent, like I said, I have an Excel sheet that keeps track of everything.
Yes, you take note of whatever.
I spent a total of 628,000 naira to put him in a government school. This is
over $500,000 naira.
This is including uniforms, the school fees, other things that we needed to pay, books, everything, accommodate. I think that's part of the school fees. The provisions I needed to buy for him, his kits, everything. And I remember taking him to school. I drove him myself to school to resume. And I looked at other students. Yes, I've given him the best materials, like uniform, to make his uniform. I've given him provisions and everything else. And I imagined that maybe I went very far over. But however little you spend, I don't think any parent would have spent lesser than 250.
Yeah, to actually package the word.
Even if it's just to put them in school. And there are people who are earning below 70,000. It's sad. Well, it is really.
So
really
we're going back
sad.
to the question I asked earlier, minimum standard, which government, the minimum threshold that government should meet for citizens to have that sense of belonging.
I think people just want to be able to wake up in the morning and not think of where their food will come from. Nigerians don't ask a lot from their government.
And it's not too much to ask.
They just want to wake up in the morning, be sure that nobody is going to kidnap me, and be sure that I don't have to think of where my food, what me and my family will eat. I should not have to rack my brain about that.
That should be a settled matter.
Just be a settled matter.
Education, food security.
Food security and access to education. That is all that every Nigerian will ask.
All right, we have a caller. Emmanuel, before I come to you, I'll pick this call. Yes, welcome to the program. Yes, we're happy having you, and happy Independence Anniversary.
Thank you very much. Wish you the same. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. What is your name?
Ibrahim. The name is Ibrahim Hamza from Federal Local Gombe.
From Gombe, Ibrahim.
Yes, from Gombe.
Okay,
Ibrahim.
welcome.
Hamza from Gombe.
All right.
Yeah, I want to join millions of Nigerians. Yeah, on the celebration of our 54th Independence Anniversary. And I want to commend the stations and the commentators on the national issues. I want to say and join millions of Nigerians in saying that our problem number one is the leadership at all levels. At all levels. And we said the type of leadership we need in this country is the type of the Fulani leadership that is always in front of his cows and the cows are following, which is quite exemplary. The leader we want is the one that knows the way, that shows the way, and then goes the way. You don't ask people, for example, to be patient when you see somebody living a different type of life entirely. If we say that people should be patient, then we need to see our leaders demonstrating that in public, in private and public. Then if we see kind of convoys, our leaders from the top to the bottom, on our highways, in our state capitals and so on. It becomes very doubtful what they say to be patient and to, maybe to wait that they are doing this and that and that, and that people should, need to be patient. There is a limit to which people can make sacrifice in any case.
Okay.
And when there is a national complaint of this nation, when there is a national problem of this nature, then we need to listen and to stop pedal, meaning to review some of the policies so that people can be carried along in effecting any change the government may desire. Okay?
All right, Ibrahim.
Hello?
Hello, Ibrahim. Yes, thank you. We have heard you. You've made quite a number of points there. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Emmanuel, I saw Murthar nodding his head, partly maybe in agreement with what Ibrahim said, but you did one mischievous smile. Also, I don't know.
Well, I smiled when I saw on the screen the president limousine. The 2020.
Okay, that was what took you
2025. Maybach. I mean, in a poor country like Nigeria, we shouldn't have that. We shouldn't at all.
It was an overboard.
Yeah, we have a head of state in Burkina Faso who took office, and ECOWAS leaders woke up and said, "Oh, you shouldn't take office. We're going to fight." And the Burkinabe junta said, "Okay, we're waiting for you. Come, we'll fight." The man does not take salary. He's still a colonel. Is he a captain or colonel?
I forgot.
But you know,
I'm not saying that. I'm only talking about his person and how he has
projected himself.
Yes.
Albeit, even if it is not the true picture.
He's the head of state. He can decide whatever. He can choose to be whatever. He's turned the country into, farming, to turn the young people into farmers. He's established a what do you call it? Gold. What do you call it? Mining
initiative,
or through the value chain and all. What I'm simply saying is that when a leader understands where he's going to, it's very easy for him to implement his plans. When a leader does not know where he's going, and is not willing to get people to help him, even
if he believes that he knows it all, and his decisions are sacrosanct.
Unfortunately, that's why you have the problem. I believe that one of the low-hanging fruits that this government can pick now, and in the next 1 year, you will have results. Today we have floods ravaging over 20 states. In Niger State alone, you have at least 173,000 hectares of farmland completely destroyed. The effect of that, we'll feel it next year.
We're already feeling the effect of
one
last
of the
year
previous
and the year before. Because a bag of rice now is over 100,000.
Over 100,000. So what the federal government needs to do now is to show leadership and gather the 36 state governors, and by extension, advise them or plead with them or beg them to influence the local government chairman as well. They should all go into agriculture now. Okay. And what they need to do, all these monies that the federal government is throwing at the state. I hear that the 3 billion that they're giving across
to address climate change.
To address whatever it is, I don't even know what it is. The problem I feel is we throw money at problems. We don't throw solutions. We throw money at problems. Then when you add problems, you say, "Oh, I gave XYZ amount. I give," like the Senate president touted the other time that billions have been given to the state governments, that the state governors should say what they use the money. The money he was talking about were COVID-19 refunds.
So it's just to actually wave away.
You wave away your responsibility. So if I see the president, the federal government, and the state government, and the local government form a synergy or a symbiotic relationship
on addressing problems,
on addressing at least first our agricultural activities, food, we would take care of the food insecurity we have today. And that can be replicated in 2, 3, 4 key areas.
All right.
And you will have direction.
All right, Emmanuel. Yes. Hello. Welcome to the program. Hello? Hello? Okay, somebody called, but I was actually trying to see that you land on that value chain initiative. But we have another one. Welcome to the program. Hello? Yes. Okay. Murthar, of course, we have gone very far into the program. Now, of course, we have lamented also and trying to find solution. I like what Emmanuel spoke on, maybe picking some ideas from our neighbors and even from other places so that we can address our existential problems like hunger. He rightly put it. The president in his speech said, made reference to checking the integrity of our dams. And maybe he's just saying this because we had an incident in Borno where the Alo Dam had a problem.
I think the president needs to understand that as a president, your responsibility is not to respond to every single thing that has happened. Like, he needs to understand that you're not campaigning again.
Because ordinarily the dams, their integrity should have been maybe when you touch a certain ball, you now see.
That's a basic thing. So, because there's a dam issue, we need to address the dam issue. This is why you need to get professionals around you to advise you on what you should say in the public.
Yes.
I was trying to.
Are you saying it's an indictment for you to even say that they have ordered checking of the integrity?
I was even shying away from saying this, but I think I'm going to say it unequivocally. the president's speech today just proved that Aju Ngolale is no longer in the villa. Because
how do you
no, in all genuineness, because Aju Ngolale was a lot of things, but one thing he was good at his job. Aju understood.
But some people say I don't want us to discuss that at all.
We're not going to go into he had this problem. He was arrogant. I'm still going to also say that as much as I'm going to praise his work. He was arrogant and all of that, but he understood the core. I'm a communications person as well.
Okay.
I understand. I recognize somebody who is doing a good job in terms of comms when they're doing a good communications job, and Aju Ngolale was doing a good job professionally, but
maybe because
otherwise,
like you.
But otherwise, he really messed up in the human relation angle of things.
Okay, but then how do you get it right so that both leaders and the followers will be patriotic? Before you answer this, I want to pick this call. Yes, welcome to the program.
Okay, do you want us to contribute?
Of course, we want you to control.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Good afternoon.
Yes, okay, go ahead. The floor is yours now.
Good afternoon.
Or afternoon, yes.
Okay, we are facing problems.
Okay.
The problem of Nigeria that nobody wants to talk the truth. The truth is that when you tell Nigeria the truth, even though the leader, they go after you.
Yes, sir.
They don't want to hear any truth. You remember when Nigeria, when the fuel, Jonathan increased the fuel, it was Buhari and the Tinubu who protest all over the whole country. And they bring the Nigeria down. Now, Tinubu and the Buhari came, they went and they hijacked the fuel. And they don't want anybody to protest. What do we call that time they protest? Is it criminal, they protest, or what?
Okay.
And anybody who protests, the allegation against is want to hijack in government. You want to overthrow the government. Is it good? Moreover, I can remember the day where, what they call it, Osemeka, talk say how when they want to do protest, he will buy big boys for Lagos. That means that what he was destroying Nigeria. He was destroying Nigerian youth. See what they did in Edo. That election, that means that the APC is now on ground and they hijack. All the thing the INEC chairman is doing. Thank God for Bauchi where he comes from. His people are suffering. They say anybody who is staying in the glass doesn't throw a stone. His people are suffering and he say he's eating. And while his people are suffering. Is it good? People are dying every day. This man doesn't want to get Nigeria protest. Instead of the man to say, let us do what we can do, maybe we do that. He went and increased the fuel again. He removed the people in NPC. The man refused. He doesn't want Nigeria to survive. What type of government is this? Do you know the meaning of APC?
Government is this?
Okay, do you know the meaning of APC?
Okay.
Let me answer me. Do you know the meaning of APC?
All right. Thank you very much.
No, don't cut. Do you know the meaning of APC?
That's okay. That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
It's going off key.
Thank you. Yes, you have voiced out your grievance, and we thank you for calling. We hope to have you some other times. Murthar, it was you who was listening before I give room to Emmanuel to also say one or two things as we round up.
I think that it's also very, very important for the government to find better ways. We're speaking about the speech and everything, and how the speech was a complete disconnect from Nigerians. I think this felt like a speech that Buhari would have given. And I think it just goes to tell you that Bayo Onanuga is in the villa because he was there under the Buhari administration. This is the reason I'm saying this and mentioning names is I'm currently doing my master's in international affairs and diplomacy, and in our foreign policy classes, one of the my lecturers usually mentioned that it is important for when you're interrogating policies that you always recognize that there are state-specific actors who operate around those policies.
Okay.
So if you understand the sentiments of the state-specific actors, you understand where their policy is coming from and where it is going to. We cannot discuss government as an abstract. We cannot just say government.
We have to situate it.
You have to situate it somewhere, because government is a continuum of different issues. We will say, I'll give you an example. Quite recently, I think last year, we won the P&ID case in the courts. And while that case was going on, you could recall that the case started since 2011, so to speak. Tinubu had not run for president at that time or anything, but then the judgment was passed during his own tenure. If we had lost that case, it would have been the Tinubu administration. Or it would have been the Nigerian government.
Yeah, so it's not about when it started.
Good. So now the point I'm trying to make here is, those state-specific actors have their role. So in order for us to be able to influence their policies, we need to be able to say, this is the person we need to talk to. Not talk to the Nigerian government as if it is one, it's Olympus. It isn't. Even if you discuss Olympus, you still mention Zeus and the rest of them. So we need to be able to say, for this person, it's the same reason why we say the Minister of Power is not trying. We can also, in the same breath, say the Minister of Interior is an amazing human being.
Correct.
Almost every Nigerian shared that sentiment, if not all. Share that sentiment. The Minister of Interior, amazing at his job.
Maybe because problematic. The improvement in internal security or something like that.
Not just an improvement in internal security, even in our, you see, when somebody is walking back, you will know.
You don't need to even.
You don't even need to be pointing. This. Everybody just shares that particular vision.
Okay, now let me take your last point so that he can also have a minute to say something.
Yeah, I think.
Now, what areas do you think the president and his team should reconsider, so that hopefully by January, because we are going to have another speech, it will be a different speech, it will be an inspiring speech, it will give hope, or not, we should even go beyond hope, that we can now point at some specifics to say we have achieved in A, B, C, D.
In my country, we misconstrue politics for entrepreneurship. Okay. The quickest way to get rich in Nigeria is to win a political office or get a public appointment.
So we should try to discourage that.
We need to discourage that. We need to let people understand that the essence of public service, it is in the service, and that should come first before anything else. It is not a get rich quick scheme. It is something that the responsibility should be humbling, rather than you looking at what you're going to get. I think if we can adjust that mindset, it becomes easier for all of us to plug into the Nigerian.
All right, Emmanuel, let me have your final take. Okay, so that by January, when the president will deliver speech, what do you think, or what areas do you think the speech should tell of?
The anti-corruption stance of the government, this current administration, is
wobbly.
Is not existing.
Okay.
I expect the president to have instituted a probe into the supposed 90 million liters or 126 million liters of petroleum per day that we're consuming before he came into office. That balloon. Now they've dropped it. They just dropped it to 65 million. With the Dangote is starting.
Some are actually saying that drop is not a productive drop.
No, it's not,
because it is impacting negatively on productivity.
So what I'm saying is, when the probe happens, you get findings. For example, there was a probe sometime in past, and that probe have put some people in prison. Some monies were recovered, and we had some semblance of that opaqueness was a bit rattled. I believe that these are some of the low-hanging fruits that the president should focus on.
Right.
And that way we can clearly say this is what it is, and we'll be able to calculate clearly how much our landing cost is. Because what we have today is fake.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Osemeka, Public Affairs Commentator. Murthar Suleiman, Communication Strategist, for helping me anchor, because we answered all the questions that we received from a multitude of callers. And we thank you for coming to the program. Once again, happy Independence Anniversary. And to millions of Nigerians who have been with us, we thank you for being part of this special package, Independence Package, as Nigeria marks its 64th anniversary. For those who tried to call but were unable to, we have more packages ahead, and by His grace, you will be able to have that opportunity. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, next year. We wish you all the best. Happy Independence Anniversary. And from all of us here at the Daily Trust, bye-bye for now. I am Hamza Idris.
Nigeria, the African giant, boasts a rich history